Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me here on Tea with Taylor, everyone. Thanks for watching. We're going to get started very soon because we got a lot to talk about. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Today I'm bringing you the topic financial wellness, talking about all things financial. I know. It seems a bit grim, but it's okay. I was weary about bringing this topic at all. But you know what? This is really the reason I started doing this kind of thing, to bring information out there to in true fashion. Of course, copyright issue. So, I did put that, little disclaimer in there because that's what, as far as I know, is what to do with social media. But yes, let me find us on the Book of Face, see how we're looking. Facebook. And yeah, it is kind of a thing that people don't talk about very often, and it's something that the reason I wanted to bring this topic again was for people who may need to hear these kinds of things, and help someone. Hopefully, I hope that we can. Give me 1 second. Of course. I'm glad to be back with you guys back home. I was visiting my family in Florida, and that was really great for my uncles and aunts' rededication of their vows. And I'm going live today on YouTube as well. So if you see my gaze going back and forth, it's because I'm trying to, pay attention and look at both you viewers on YouTube and both viewers on Facebook. So just bear with me a little bit. I think it'll be okay. As long as you can hear me and you can see me, I think we'll be all right. But we got a lot of hot topics to talk about. Last week, while I was in Florida, I did attempt to come to you guys live, but it didn't work out very well. We had a few glitches there. So I'm here with you today, and so I got a lot to tell you, a lot to talk about. We're going to get into it. If you have noticed, I did post my Cash App name on the description in this video, and it's long past due. I've been kind of going back and forth with the idea of adding my Cash App to this project, but yeah, recently, I've realized that most other shows do it as well, and this kind of donations, if you guys feel that you want to do so, if you donate to Taylor Neptune or to Neptune Incorporated, I want you to know that it's going towards bettering this project here, towards me bringing you all content that I bring you, towards hiring some sort of producer in the future to help out, hiring some sort of team, all those good things, going to all the little things here that make Tea with Taylor, merchandise for giveaways. And speaking of merchandise for giveaways, I'm gonna list all the events a little bit later. But I have a special one planned that I'm excited to see come to life, and excited for all the people that are involved. But we're getting beyond ourselves. And I also want to hear you guys. I want to hear from you guys on the comment section. I want to know if you guys have any cool tips and tricks that you may have acquired over your span of life that may have armed you to be financially well, period. Because we love to talk about wellness in general here on Tea with Taylor. Hold on 1 second. What do we got going on here? Haha, better. I can see you. So thank you guys for watching. We're gonna get into some hot topics. So first, actually, because I didn't get a chance to bring this to you last week, you'll notice in the comment sections I did post my Cash App name again in case you guys are feeling like donating. Yeah, let me know. But first and foremost, I wanted to give you guys a COVID update. Excuse me. Oh, and I got this really amazing bottle of wine from my aunt and uncle's ceremony, and they has their name on it. My aunt worked really hard on these. They was super pretty. She did a really great job with the decorations. It was really nice to see. I helped her out a little bit because last minute things always happen. But it was great. She did a really good thing setting it up. It was an outdoor thing. A lot of different family members. But I'm gonna tell you, Auntie, Miss Charisse, Uncle BJ, this is good. This is pretty good. They were calling me a wine connoisseur because I was walking around like Rihanna with my glass of red wine, just walking around with it, just in full, just loving it too. So, not gonna say I'm not a fan of walking around with my wine glass. Just saying. Mind your business. So, COVID update. Real quick, gonna try and throw this out there and give you guys a little COVID update. I know I don't want to ruin anyone's Friday. Also, TGIF, y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being who you are, and you made it. You made it to the end of another week and another glorious weekend. We do have this new strain of interest. I mentioned it last week slightly, but that video has since been terminated. But anyways, we have this variant of interest. It's called Mu. That's been listed by the World Health Organization. There's 39.5 million new cases and 643,000 deaths. That was the stats from last week. So that might have even elevated, which I'm sure it has, to an even higher level. Then we have, of course, the strain that's been going around before that. That's become that we are now trying to instate, I would say, booster shots within as soon as within a week. Actually, is what they're broadcasting, and we're hoping that if booster shots are necessary, that everyone who has gotten the 2 shots is down to get the 3rd shot. If you haven't, you haven't. It's your choice. Some people have said, you have the power to choose to get the shot and to save people's lives, but they always leave out the part of you have the choice also to not get immunized. And it's not that you're killing someone. You just have to take proper precautions. If you are people who are not immunized, take proper precautions. Wear your mask in public. Distance yourselves at a proper distance from others. It's not an end all if you are unvaccinated. So, just keep that in mind. And, again, it is free will. It's not, and I'm a little scared about how they're trying to enforce the vaccine on a lot of different levels, especially in the government. Even Biden saying he might have to, based off of whatever statistics he's receiving at the White House. It's a little scary. I'd love to hear about what you guys think about it as well. So let me know in the comment section. I was hearing actually that the first step might be to require people who are traveling to be vaccinated. And that's not a terrible idea, but again, then it leads to other avenues of saying, hey, you're required to be vaccinated. This is something you need to have because we're not allowing you otherwise. So yeah, that's what I'm afraid of after something like that happens. Then there rise in pediatric cases, of course. The 20% of the new cases were kids, and that was again last week's stats. So that might have risen. I hope not. If anyone knows the current up-to-date stats, let me know. I'm not going to go too deep into it again because these stats are from last week. The mask mandate has been updated with the World Health Organization. There has been breakthrough cases of people who are immunized who have been getting the coronavirus still, even after being vaccinated. So again, it's important to be careful if you are unvaccinated, and if you're vaccinated, just a little bit more if you're unvaccinated. And that's really what it boils down to. The U.S. has reached a milestone, unfortunately, with this virus as well. We have 1 in 500 who have died from coronavirus, unfortunately. So that's just kind of something that we are dealing with. They are moving forward with a lot of different plans in this respect for COVID-19. We have been seeing a lot of progress. However, outside of the U.S., it is still running rampant and still very much of a concern for us all. I see that Mr. Jordan Rodriguez is commenting on YouTube. I see you. I knew that you would be one of the ones watching on YouTube, if not the only one. So y'all, if you see, if you catch Tea with Taylor on Facebook, or if you don't catch it, you can always catch it on YouTube. We're gonna try and keep up this YouTube thing. Thanks for watching, Jordan. Love you. Yeah. Moving forward, the Caldera Fires was another huge thing in California, in the California area that we were tracking, that I was tracking, that was very much of an interest to me, especially, and not only because of it, but especially because you start to see the climate change in your environment based off of what is happening over here with our neighbors. You can see that when we walked outside and we saw an overcast in the sky after after the fires had reached its a pinnacle. It was scary. It was a moment. It was really scary to realize how much those kinds of things affect your environment, and that's something we can't necessarily get back without years and years of work. So if you think about it, it's something that is worth us paying attention to just a little bit more. Climate change has always been something that's been a really, really big one for me that I really try to understand and try to, make less of a carbon footprint and do different things along those lines to be conscious. And it is something that we as a country are probably need a little more work with, if you ask me. But it will benefit us all in the long run, and our planet will not be as exhausted in its resources and in its all of these things that are happening because we are being more conscious. So, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to preach it to you. Not just yet. You know what? And another thing, I said that there's a reason that we needed to do the financial wellness today, and I forget to mention, don't forget about the wellness part of the financial wellness. We'll get into that a little bit later. But this is something that America needs: financial literacy. Just period. It's something that isn't that we need now more than ever, especially after coming through a global pandemic, and all of these things. People are concerned with their work. People are concerned with making money. People are looking at new avenues of doing so. Things are changing, and we have to acknowledge financial literacy as a point of interest when we are talking about educating the masses. These things happen, and a lot of people aren't prepared for these things, and that is the normal. However, I'm going to say we need to teach this in school. All the things that we learn in school are supposed to prepare us for the things outside of school and after school, but it doesn't seem so when things like financial literacy aren't being taught. We need to make sure that we're arming people with the next generation, or people who are seeking knowledge with the correct information to live a good life and to become financially well. So I am a big advocate for teaching financial literacy within schools. I know my good friend Dion, he's probably watching, something that he would definitely say needs to be taught as an educator himself. And speaking speaking on that just a little bit more, if you follow me on social media, I posted something a few days ago about depression, and I want to say it again. Depression is just a stepping stone to your blessing. And so remember that when you're going through something. Remember when something is not the way you want it to be. Just try to lean on that understanding that that means something good is coming. Something is flourishing from that. So be aware of that. And like I learned at my church at Powerhouse Ministries, be aware of what you're digesting within yourself, what you're allowing within yourself, because that is what's going to hinder you in the future. If you are digesting and taking in all the bad things and making it so, that's what will hinder you in the future. So make sure you're just being aware of those things, and taking care of yourself, and for me, being more aware and vigilant of the spiritual realm. But we'll get into that a little bit more as well. That is a whole part about being wellness. And while we're on the topic of Powerhouse, tonight at 7, if you want to join in with us on a Zoom call, like let me know, send me a message, let me know in the comments. If you want to join us for prayer at 7 o'clock, we will be having a prayer session at 7 o'clock, and, you know, just join us. And you can tell me what you think about it from there. I don't have to go into it too much. It's just, you know, if you feel that you need some prayer, you feel that you want to get in touch with your spiritual side, or you want to go down that road with us, let me know. I'm always so happy to hear that, and I can, you know, send you that Zoom link real quick. It takes nothing. Anywho's, moving on, a little bit more hot topics, because I know we have so much to go into. There was some new movies that I wanted to mention that are coming out. I mentioned it last week again. There's the new Blade movie coming out with a new actor. That I posted that on the T with Taylor Instagram, so check that out. That should be interesting. A little revamped Blade, one of my favorite characters in that universe. Candyman just came out. That was produced by Jordan Peele. He did the Get Out. He did Us. He produced the new series Twilight Zone. He's really, really good at what he does, and I've been really impressed by all of the things that he's done as a producer, as a director. It's really, really fascinating. I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. Just to move right forward, with that being said, I know this one. This topic I wanted to stray away from because I didn't want to get attacked. Literally attacked by the Beehive, and I was kind of saving it for the Browns, Miss Calypso Phoenix Brown, if you're watching, and Ariba Brown, love you guys. I wish that I could have saved this topic for you, but, you know, we're going to talk about it a little bit now, just quickly, how Beyonce and Jay-Z, they received major mixed reviews recently about the Tiffany campaign that they were both in. The artist himself, who presented the art in the background of this campaign, if you've seen it, also got some backlash for putting together this project. Excuse me. Yeah, I seen it. I think it was great. I liked what they did there, and there was this priceless necklace that she had worn that that Tiffany asked Beyonce to wear. It seemed okay. My problem with it was, if you're hiring the Carters for a modeling job, essentially, especially with someone as well known as Tiffany's, I feel that the Carters could have shined through a little bit more. Could have given us a little bit more of that Carter energy. You know, it just didn't hit all the way for me either. And I can understand both sides of it. I'm so not trying to get attacked by the Beehive. But yeah, it just didn't do it for me. It wasn't all the way there. It wasn't as elevated as a Carter's project you would think would be. And yeah, I just, you know, Tiffany. Yeah, okay. We're gonna move forward because that's it. That's all we need to spend time on. Speaking of celebrities, really quickly, because this season I actually am not doing a celebrity gossip episode, which I know, sad, aw. But yeah, I've tried to do a celebrity gossip sesh at least once every season, but we'll just save them for the hot topics, because, you know, I can't fit in the celebs. We got a lot planned for this season. But speaking of celebrities, Miss Britney Spears. Miss Britney Spears' engagement to her new husband, clap, 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 and Miss Britney Spears also being released from her conservatorship with her father. So we are over the moon, elated, free Britney Spears, congratulations. Get a prenup. That's all I'm gonna say. And moving forward, I know my diva J-Lo probably has never ever had to get a prenup, but listen, you need get a prenup. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm really happy for you. That's great, especially the conservatorship. So happy that that's happening. Moving forward, I read something that was pretty interesting about France, actually. There's a lot going on within our government about France, but before we get into that, France actually started a new program where they're offering free birth control to women under the age of 25. I thought that was amazing. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's great. Those are the people who need it. The woman under 25. And I don't understand why it is not free. I was always under the idea that it was free. Birth control was free. Usually, all you have to do is go to a clinic or something. But, I'm glad that this is happening, whether it be the norm or not. Really happy to hear, excuse me, that they're taking that into account. It is really expensive drugs, so I'm not sure exactly how. Oh no, my light went out. Oh no. I'm not exactly sure how that is going to work, but I hope that it works out well within their government. Speaking of government, within our government, we have had some tensions rising with China. And if you've heard about this, you know it's a very mixed up, convoluted deal that's all happening here. There's a lot going on. The U.S. actually just made a deal with Australia to secure some sort of nuclear train technology that they weren't directly saying was a result of the feud with China, but we all know that is a direct result of the feud with China. And that deal that they allegedly made with Australia for these nuclear train missiles fell through today, or was it yesterday perhaps, because France has said that they have already made that deal with Australia. And then, there's more, then Australia came back and said, we didn't make a deal with the U.S. We said that we could make a deal with the U.S. I said, oh my God, this is so ridiculously convoluted. And just goes to show how things in this government go, and, how things can go. That things can go really well or they can go really bad, and somewhere in the middle right now, just trying to figure it out. China is arming themselves. We're hoping to not have a war on our hands here with this. China is arming themselves in respects as well. Again, tensions are rising between these nations, and there are a few reasons why. So we have to keep an eye on this, be vigilant, be aware, make sure you're watching any kinds of breaking news that comes across your screen, please. I know it's hard, it's depressing, but please make sure you're watching it. I'm going to keep up with it for you, and I'll bring it to you each week, but be on top of that. Keep the hot topics going. We are making some great time today. I'm really happy that I get to throw all this at you today. There was a few things that happened over the week that I could mention, but one of the most fun things, and you all know how I feel about award shows, and if you don't, I'll tell you. I think they're pointless. 100% pointless. I don't think we need it as a society. But, we have them. I think it kind of just is a way to praise celebrities more than they need to be, to parade all this wealth, so to speak, and things across the television, when there are so many other things that we could be doing with the money that it takes to do these galas and events and music award shows and things like that we don't really need, especially now that we're coming somewhat out of a COVID or pandemic era. Do we still need award shows? Absolutely not. It's a system that brings value to the entertainment industry, and I understand that. But is it necessary? Absolutely not. But we had the VMAs and we had the Met Gala returning this year after not having the Met Gala for I want to say 2 years. Yikes. Yeah, I want to say 2 years. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. But we had the Met Gala return, and we had the VMAs one day after each other. There was the VMAs, and then the Met Gala the very next day. And let me just say, the fashion at the VMAs was good. It was great. I was here for it. Most of the people that were there were pretty good. The fashion at the Met Gala. My gosh, so many people missed the mark. it was rough, y'all. It was, okay, it was good for what it was, but it was rough, y'all. A lot of people missed the mark, and a lot of other people didn't. To mention a few, my favorite was Lil Nas X, of course. Lil Nas X representing for the queer community, came in hardcore with his wardrobe. He slayed the runway, the red carpet. It was just so good. He had this gold suit situation, and I wondered if it was like an homage to C-3PO or whatever his name was, the robot from Star Wars. I wondered if that was an homage to that character, because there's been talk about that character being gay, so to speak, or queer. If a robot could be queer, that he would be queer. So there were talks about that. I remember when it came out. So I wonder if Lil Nas X was making a little homage to that. And then underneath the gold suit was a bodysuit, and the bodysuit was just amazing. We all know I love a good bodysuit. That was amazing. So yeah, the reveal was everything. It gave me kind of Gaga vibes when she did her little reveal moment with the big poofy dress, and then she's like slimmed down into basically like nothing. It was great. It was a moment. Kim K. Lord Kim K. Kim K. Looking like a blank Grindr profile. I couldn't get with it. I know there's some sort of a meaning behind it. I know there has to be something behind it, but I just don't. I can't. You'll see. Her looks were just basically her in a black suit covering her entire body. Google it. It was just how I feel about Kim K. Billie Eilish had a classic moment. It was great. At the Met Gala, I'm not remembering her look right now, but I don't remember hating it, so that's good. Ciara got a lot of backlash for her look. She wore her husband's jersey number, which I thought was amazing. It was super cute, and the theme was American fashion. So football, American. Hello, she's married to him. Why not wear his number? I thought it was super cute. She looked great. Her body was rocking as usual. But a lot of people didn't like it. It was this lime green, green number, bright green, neon green number with her husband's number across it in a train. If y'all donate to me on my Cash App after this episode, that might go to me finding some way to broadcast some images for you so we can see them on the screen. But yeah, look it up and let me know, if you had seen it. I want to hear what you have to say in the comments as well. Really into that. One of the shows that I love that on one of the digital shows that I love that I've been able to be a part of, to be on, is The Inner Circle. And they did a Keep It and Shred It game that I absolutely love. We did a Keep It and Shred It game when I was a guest on their show. They did it on their social media pages and on their recent show every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. They did another Keep It and Shred It for the VMA and Met Gala looks. And it was hilarious. It was great. Love Keep It and Shred It. Love you guys at The Inner Circle, by the way, also. So glad they did that. It was great. Yeah, there was a few others. Troye Sivan looked great in the tiny little black number. Lewis Hamilton, amazing. One of my favorites, hands down, with all white look and a train, and the presentation was amazing. Hunter Schafer, Winnie Harlow, Pete Davidson kind of looks good, which is surprising because Pete Davidson never looks good to me. Gabrielle Julian turned it out at the Met Gala. She had this gorgeous tentacle flowing, I don't know, squid-like dress that just gave it to me. It was a good moment. I was like, okay, Gabby, I see you, Gabby. Gabrielle Union came through. She looked amazing. Grimes, the singer from Grimes, she looked great. She did a little cosplay moment with her mask and a sword, and she did that. Chloe Bailey's performance and her look, she looked amazing. I didn't really like her red carpet look. It looked a little like tinfoil. It was kind of But her performance, oh my gosh. Her solo performance, was fire. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And then we had a lot of backlash with AOC's dress, the tax the rich. That was interesting to see. Megan Fox turned it out at both events. She looked amazing, body rocking as usual. I loved her little red dress at the gala that she wore with a train, and it was a little strappy number in the mid region, and she had this Chinese bang, so to speak. It was cute. It was a number. Normani and Tiana Taylor, crushed the performance. That was so good. And Dan Levy looked really great. Rihanna and ASAP showed up looking pretty great, except for that worm situation. I don't know what was going on. ASAP looked a little crazy, but that seems to be the theme here with some of the men. Frank Ocean showed up. Love Frank Ocean to death, but he looked a little crazy, carrying a little green alien baby. I don't know what that was all about. I love you, Frank Ocean. You looked good for like a walking down the street, not for an event. And yeah, and Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek looks great. I liked his look too. Justin Bieber kind of, I'm still struggling with if I like that or not. I think he did. He stepped out of his box, so that's good. He stepped out of his comfort zone, so that was great. He had a long little bell-bottom-y look kind of thing, situation going on. It was cute. I don't know. Maybe if it was on someone else, I would appreciate it a little bit more. But we're going to move forward because I have so many more hot topics to share with you guys. But we are now reaching the 30-minute mark, and I want to make sure to get down to this financial wellness and share something with you guys that might help you. That might help us all. I'm learning with you, by the way. So that's just, the dynamic of Tea with Taylor. I'm learning with you. I'm bringing this to you to hopefully help someone and myself as well. 1 second. Let's see. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. When you hear a noise or something and you're like, I need to go see what that was. So that was that. That was what happening there, and we're back. Anywho's, let's get into some financial wellness talk, y'all. Let's get into it. I said, I'm learning with you. This is all a journey for us all. I'm really excited to bring these things to you. And I'm going to present you with some stats and facts. Just a little bit. But I'm going to try and bring it to you in Neptune fashion, so it's not completely dreadful, darling. Oh, we've got light again. that was one of the reasons I had to get up just now too. Oh, we love live shows. Anywho's, before we get into the topic for today, I also want to mention a bunch of events really quickly. I will leave that in the comment section for you all to see. Make sure you're checking us out and keeping up. There's a lot that I want to share with you all. As far as events, we have one of my favorite places, Ego Providence. Their Tuesday night show. They have a Tuesday night show now with Miss Kira Stone and Lily Whiteass. If you know these two amazing performers, you know that they pack a punch. It was really great to see. I was really happy with going to see the premiere of it being back after not having their show be a part of any lineup for a little while. Because of COVID, and then they moved their show that used to be at another bar in Providence. They moved it to now Ego. It is called L2K Tuesdays. They give you like all of the things, cabaret, some performances, a little conversation. It's great. It's like hanging out with your two aunties. So if you're free on a Tuesday night, please visit Ego for L2K with Kira Stone and Lily Whiteass. It's a great show. You won't regret it. Trust me. Um, House of Glitter and Max Garza, I want to thank you guys for inviting me to your dance opera. That was a really great movement by the House of Glitter, a really great performance, something that I had never seen before. So I'm going to quickly say thank you for that invite. They are actually still doing their dance opera. Today is the last day to catch it if you want to get tickets and support a good cause. Historical house, amazing group of people. If you want to support that, let me know at Matt Garza on any other social medias for more information as well. That is also starting tonight at 7. A lot going on at 7. So there is the Back to School Ball that Amazon and Chloe Savage are hosting at the Dark Lady on Thursday nights. The Back to School Ball is coming to us September 23rd. I will be judging that. One of the judges, and I believe my bestie Dion Sage is also going to be one of the judges that night. September 23rd. The theme is back to school. Come have you a good old Vogue battle ball night. It's been amazing to witness this whole thing and bringing light to ballroom culture just a little bit. I'm gonna put a pause on that. Another thing happening, September 25th, which is Saturday, September 25th, the Empress's Review is happening. And that is a part of the Imperial Court. They raise money for other organizations, other queer organizations. Imperial Court, some that I am now a part of. They will be having a Empress's Review event on Saturday, September 25th. And I will be performing there for that. So... and I'm going to attempt to record it this time because I keep saying that I'm going to do it and I don't. But I will, I promise. And this is going to be another moment. It's going to be great. I hope to see you all there. It's for a good cause. And Empress Irina Devereaux, thank you for asking me and for putting this on. Free Play Game Night is coming back, y'all. And that is the queer night that is dedicated to the queer community. Again, with Kira Stone and a host of other girls, Calypso Phoenix Brown, her drag daughter Sasha Stone, I believe, is one of the hosts there on Monday nights. They're coming back with that show September 27th, and I'm really excited about that. So if you want to come see a good drag show and play some arcade games, Free Play is an awesome place. It's really huge arcade, like really huge. There's every game that you could ever think of there. So if you're there, if you're free on Monday night, that's another thing to go and enjoy yourself and to take in. It's a moment. Let's see. And the next event. I am having a charity event and a live game and trivia night. Be hosted by yours truly, Taylor Neptune. It's going to be Tea with Taylor game night. It's tentatively scheduled for December 10th. So we will be selling tickets for that. Look out for the promos very soon. It's going to be really awesome. We'll have table games set up. I'm going to do a live Family Feud kind of game. And the people involved with that is also, again, like I mentioned earlier, my friends here at the Inner Circle, my friends at the Imperial Court, my friends at the View Drag Brunch, Miss Haley Starr, Ladiva Jones, and Jacqueline DeMera will be a part of that as well. We're going to play some amazing fun games, take some shots, because I learned that from you girls at the drag brunch. Set up some table games, pool table, have some trivia, and just have a good old time. And I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to see these groups of people go against each other, and it's gonna be a moment. It's gonna be really fun. I'm really happy to plan this. One of the first live events that I'm actually doing. And I'll make sure to live stream that as well, so you all can join us virtually. I mean, not as fun, but absolutely join us virtually. And with that being said, December 8th and 9th, those same girls, the Ladiva Jones and Haley Starr, are having their event, Divas of Drag, their holiday event, the 8th and 9th of December. So if you are looking for something to do, and it's lovely, amazing. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. It's always is always a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Around that time, you can go get tickets for that online, Facebook. Contact those girls and get your tickets as soon as possible. Okay, now there are two facets of finding financial wellness. Two, wealth and health are synonymous when it comes to talking about financial wellness. Again, and like I said earlier, we have to make sure to not exclude the wellness part when we're talking about finance, because it can be somewhat dreary. It can be something that we choose not to talk about because it is so daunting and so scary. Something that seems like it's unsolvable mystery, if so to speak. But it in fact is not. And there are a few different ways that I'm learning to cope with that, to learn. And again, there are the two facets. And those two facets are mentality, because that plays a huge role in your finances, more than you might have think. Your mentality and planning. Planning is a huge part of it, and that's something that I'm learning to be a little bit more diligent about. I am pretty good with planning, but I tend to let it fall by the wayside, not gonna lie. Sometimes I start off really good, a lot of steam, a lot of energy, a lot of effort with planning and organizing, and then decline. Or I get busy with other things and I forget about it, creatives, you know how we are. But yes, mentality and planning. And then when you talk about planning, you have to also think about what you're planning. And that means planning for the short-term goals and things like that, and long-term. And that is also a huge part about planning, about finding financial wellness, is setting goals. One of your major things, again, is getting organized. The fundamentals of saving is the first thing you want to do is get organized. There's a lot of different ways you can get organized. That means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I saw something on one of the things that I was watching about financial wellness, one of the biographies, if you want to call it that, about a guy who had about 50 active credit cards and a full book of credit cards to flip through to keep them organized, so he knows which ones are active, which ones weren't, which ones to use, blah, 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 blah. But before we get into all that, getting organized. One big major way to do that is to start getting a spreadsheet. Or, if you're even a little more traditional, a little book, a little journal, a little something, write it down. Draw a line in between, a little T-mark cross like we used to do on the dry erase board in school. Any way to have it written down, to be able to see, to be able to organize yourself as far as your expenses go. And one other big one is your subscriptions. That's a huge one, especially now. We have so many different things that we could all be subscribing to. Spreadsheet will really help you to see that and lay that out and to get organized. That's the beginning. A spreadsheet or a journal that you can keep solely for that purpose of writing down and spreadsheeting out your subscriptions and your monthly bills. That is something that I found to be super helpful. I have my journals, I have my books that I keep it down with, but getting acclimated with the spreadsheets on the computer as well. I'm going to have to say thank you to my friend Dion Sage and Ken Barber at the Progress Channel for getting me acclimated with Excel spreadsheet a little bit more, because I fought it so much, just like Twitter. But, it is helpful. It is very helpful, and I'm really glad to know that that is one of those tools that help you succeed, especially in finances. Secondly, and this is really important, and this is like super self-explanatory, what I'm finding and what I've read, do not spend more than you have. And it sounds simple. It sounds very like, don't spend more than I have, obviously. But many people do. When your housing costs, the cost of food, and the cost of anything else, travel, and all of those are things that we all need, or all the things that we all want to do, exceeds your income, you shouldn't do it. Don't spend more than what you have. And that also leaks into savings. And saving is really, really hard for a lot of people. And I'm one of those people because I like to spend money. It's when I have it, I like to spend it. And you know, that's not terrible, but you have to be vigilant and aware of how you're spending. Don't overspend without a plan. Because then we have things like credit as well that accumulate interest, and if you're spending more than you are able to pay back, you're essentially paying more for something than you need to in the long run. Saving is a huge part. One of the major parts about finding financial wellness that a lot of people struggle with. One huge tip that I have read and that I'm installing in my life is taking 1% a month of your earnings and putting it away. You pretend like it's a bill, essentially. So you take that 1%, whatever that 1% may be, you stash it away, you put it in a separate account, you put it somewhere else. You know, even if it's physical money, you start a jar or something like that, and pretend that it's a bill. You do not look at that money again. You don't think about that money again. You put that aside. It's a bill. It's gone. It's taken. That 1%, again, will slow and steadily, like, help you achieve goals. And so that way you can even set further long-term goals. Once you start to see that funds accumulate for your short-term goals. And that 1%, again, is slow and steady, and which that is something that is a lot easier for people who are starting in their financial journey to accomplish, because a lot of times we get down on ourselves in this process and we get frustrated, and finances can be something that really gets to you mentally. And what we do is we fall for these get-rich-quick schemes. Everyone wants to get wealthy quick, and everyone wants to think that there's another way, or this seems too good to be true. And if you think that about something, it's probably too good to be true. There are so many schemes and scams out there to capitalize on people's way of thinking of, you know, hey, there's got to be a fast, quick way to do this. There's, you know, the whole business of the lotto and things like that that are literally capitalizing on people's mindsets, that they think there is a quick way to do it. And let me just tell you, in my experience and in most of the experiences of all the research I've done about finances, there is no quick way. There's just no quick way. It's, you know, unless you are an artist that produces something overnight, like music or art or something that lands you in a different tax bracket, or you get a record deal overnight or something, you know, these things that happen, it's not, outside of those anomalies, it's not going to be a quick thing. And that's one of the major things to remember. It's not a quick process when we're trying to be financially well, or when we're trying to be financially stable. It's not a quick process. I'm learning that myself, and I'm coming to terms with it, and it makes everything a lot easier. It doesn't seem overwhelming when you know that it is a process and that you have to keep giving to that process in order to see the benefit. With all that, after you start to set your goals, create a budget and reduce your expenses. That is something that this is where I'm at right now with this whole journey. Reducing expenses is a lot easier, again, once you have your spreadsheet. And once you have your 1% of a month that you're saving and stashing away. Once you are setting your long and short-term goals, then you can reduce your expenses. You can look and see what you don't need and what, you know, can be eliminated, or maybe I can take the silver package instead of the gold package for this, or, you know, maybe I can drop that Amazon Prime subscription that I have that I don't use because I don't even watch Amazon or use Amazon for anything anymore. So little things like that become more visible when you have your spreadsheet, and then you're able to create a budget because you're able to track your income, which is another really good thing, to track your income, and to make sure you are able to reduce those kinds of expenses that you don't really need in your life. once you start to plan ahead for these kinds of things, you can also feel a sense of wellness, a sense of relief and reprieve from these kinds of financial stresses, because it does get very, very stressful. And financial stress management is a very big one. You need to, take things in small bunches is what I would say. What works for me, because it becomes very stressful to constantly be thinking about money or living paycheck to paycheck like a lot of us are doing, or anything along those lines. It can become very stressful on you as a person. And so take things one at a time. A big thing I like to advocate for is payment plans. My mother used to always tell me, if you can't pay it right away, set up a payment plan. Set up a payment plan. Most businesses, credit card bureaus, any kind of bills, they will work with most people to set up payment plans where you can pay whatever you'd like, whenever you'd like, and pay that off gradually. There obviously are different rules and regulations to different things like that, but it's a good way to get ahead and to manage your financial stress. So if you have to do it, set up a payment plan. It's really easy. Make sure that you're doing something that you can stick to. And again, you don't have expenses that you don't need. Invest if you can is a really big one that I'm hearing a lot about, and I'm trying to learn more about that. If you guys know about investing in stocks and all of those other things, or if you know something good that you think should be invested in that's going to be a cash cow, so to speak, or going to produce a lot of income for certain people, hey, let me know, because I'm here for it. But investing is a really good tool to use, and building your credit. There are a few different ways to build your credit, but one of the most obvious ways to build your credit is to get a credit card. You can apply for those anywhere online. I actually went on this website called NerdWallet, and they helped to find a card that fit for me and what I planned on using it for, laying out how much it would cost and how much I'm allowed to use, and things like that are really important when you're looking at a card. Do you plan on using it for emergencies, or do you plan on using it as an everyday card? Things like that really, really matter, so take that into account when you're looking for a credit card. But building your credit is super, super, super important to finding financial wellness and financial freedom. Even Jay-Z mentioned in one of his songs that credit is the way to wealth. And I was surprised to hear that, and it was very smart of him to say. It is very true. It is one of the avenues to wealth, because a lot of times when we go to have big purchases, or we go to move towards any kind of financial goal, credit can stand in your way. It can either be the biggest help or your biggest roadblock. So we need to be aware of our credit scores and how to better those things, and have a line of credit that we can use in case of emergencies. Which is another really great tip that I've learned, and that I'm still trying to learn, is to build your emergency fund. In case you are not a person who has a credit card, which is about 20% of the U.S. in general, about 25% of people in the U.S. don't have a credit card at all. And that's fine, in certain respects. But then you need to work a little bit harder than others to build that emergency funds. Again, taking that 1% of your income a month to stash away, to not look at ever again. Don't even think about it. Just put it away. And that will become a nice little nest egg for you when you want to go away, or if something happens to your dog, or anything along those lines. It's really important to have that kind of backing, so that you're not strapped and your back isn't against the wall when things occur. Because as we all know in life, things occur. They occur. Moving forward just a little bit more, just to get these all out there, because I think it's really important. Again, make sure you're planning for financial stress. It happens. Make sure you're planning ahead for that and thinking about that. And once you realize that it is happening, maybe take a step back and then revisit a plan, revisit looking through your bills, for looking through your spreadsheet for expenses that you may not need and things along that line. Take a breath in between. Woosah as much as you can to, again, curb that financial stress, because that is a huge part of it. And I'll say this even, sometimes don't be afraid to miss out. I know FOMO's a big deal. I know we all have it, and it's pretty intense. But if you are saving and if you are trying to dig yourself out of a debt or anything along those lines, don't be afraid to miss out. Sometimes you have to miss the event. Sometimes you have to miss the drink with the friends. Sometimes you have to miss going out to dinner for a few months, because it will better you in the future. It will then allow you to build some sort of funds, some sort of dollars, so to speak. So sometimes it's okay to miss out. And I honestly guarantee you, if you tell someone, hey, I can't make it, I'm strapped, no one's going to ask questions. And if you have really good friends, they might even offer to pay for you. So be open and honest about it. Finances is not something that we should not be able to talk about, especially with the people that we love and our loved ones and people around us, because then we learn and we move forward and we're able to assist one another. So it's kind of a necessity to be open about these things, especially, again, moving back into teaching children financial literacy in school. If only we had learned these things while we were in school, perhaps we would be a little more prepared, but we can't go back. It's fine. So, I want to leave you guys with these questions. What is your background with money? That's something that you need to ask yourself. What is your background with money and finances? So that you can be aware and vigilant of patterns, financial patterns that you have and that you've learned over time with, seeing things around you and seeing people who have had different financial patterns than you, or, learning from your background with money and finances. Another question that I'm going to leave you with is, how do you define your financial values? It's a big one. When you're thinking about saving and you're thinking about getting organized, mentality and planning are the two facets of financial wellness. So, what do you define as your financial values? It's a really, really big one that we need to all think about. When you answer that question, it becomes a lot easier to move things around, to make moves financially. So make sure you ask yourself that. And what does wealth look like to you? Really, really big one. Really important. What does wealth look like to you? And once you can answer these questions, what does wealth look like to you? How do you define your financial values? What is your background with money? Then you can further start to get organized. And that's the 360, the full 360. Going right back to step number 1, which is get organized. I really hope that this helps someone today. I think we've reached our hour mark. I'm going to join in on prayer with Powerhouse at 7. I hope to see some of you there. And again, I really hope that this helps someone. If you want to learn these tips and you want to go back, flip it and reverse it, like I always like to say, please visit Tea with Taylor on Facebook and watch anytime. Visit on YouTube and watch anytime, hopefully. And I'll be bringing you some good content every Friday at 6 o'clock here at Tea with Taylor. I forgot to mention this whole Bitcoin situation. Goodness gracious, there's a lot going on with Bitcoin. Brazil, I believe it is, has just made it a legal tender. Lord, look into Bitcoin, because that's changed one of the things that's changing the financial foreground and the financial climate for a lot of people. We haven't had a huge thing that has changed the financial game for a while, but Bitcoin is one of them. It's a little scary, but yes, check it out. I'm gonna leave you with that cliffhanger today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for keeping up with me on social medias. And I'll give you back the rest of your Friday. I'm going to figure out what I'm doing this Friday evening. And remember, again, always to be good to yourselves, to look inward. And, Again, thank you guys for all your donations, Cash App, via Cash App for all your time, for your views. I really appreciate it. And God willing, we will see you next week, Friday at 6 o'clock. Don't miss out. Thank you.